would receive amnesty. Very few of the president's supporters voted for that when they put him in office last year, and some of them are upset about it. And the left, what's their reaction like? Well, having gotten pretty much exactly what they demanded, they're enraged. Not only is Trump's amnesty offer not enough, they say, it is evidence of a racist plot. According to the ACLU, quote, the only community that benefits from this supposed generosity are white supremacists. United We Dream, that's one of the largest pro-amnesty groups, called the proposal, quote, a white supremacist ransom note. The columnist Sean King said the plan proved that, quote, the current operating philosophy of Trump and the White House is white supremacy. Immigration activist Eddie Vail called the proposal a legislative burning cross. And the senior Democrat in the House of Representatives said this.
Last night, the president put forth a plan. That plan is a campaign to make America white again. They are changing the character of our country by what they are putting forth. They bring a tear to the eye of the Statue of Liberty, and they bring fear into the hearts of people who are here playing by the rules.
We could go on and on and on. It's everywhere today. You see the point. They're telling you this plan is something the Klan could have produced and probably did. Okay, but is it? We took those charges seriously because we felt we should, and we decided to take a close look at what the White House has actually proposed. We found that the plan may be many things, not all of them good, by the way, but it definitely isn't a form of white nationalism, not unless that term now has the opposite meaning. Let's go through it. The White House proposal would legalize about 2 million people who currently have no right to be here. That's a lot of people. For perspective, 13 U.S. states have populations smaller than that. Barack Obama never enacted an amnesty that big. How many of those beneficiaries are white? Now, keep in mind, that would be the central question in any plan crafted by white supremacists, obviously. Well, let's see. Almost none of them. 2 million more non-white people in this country. That's more than the total population of Delaware or Nebraska. Doesn't sound much like a legislative burning cross. But there's more. The proposal would also continue the current system of chain migration until the backlog of applicants has been exhausted. That would take years and years. What countries will be the top beneficiaries of this new arrangement under the Trump plan? Well, if you guessed Finland, Norway, the Swedish national sauna team, nope, guess again. No European countries are on that list, not one. Instead, the plan would admit nearly 1 million more immigrants from Mexico and hundreds of thousands more from India. Also Vietnam, Bangladesh, the Dominican Republic, and China, the Philippines, too. The plan would even bring in more than 50,000 additional immigrants from Haiti, the country the president supposedly hates. Surprised? You shouldn't be. No matter what the race baiters on television are telling you, no majority white countries send large numbers of immigrants to the United States and haven't in 50 years. That would not change under this proposal. A white nationalist plot? In the history of dumb and dishonest Washington talking points, that may be the dumbest and most dishonest of all. And it's poisonous, too. It makes people hate each other, and it further divides this country, and we do not need more of that. The people who are repeating it ought to be ashamed of themselves, so of course they're not. They have to know they're lying. Then again, maybe they don't know they're lying. Maybe they've actually convinced themselves their rhetoric is true. It's possible the Democratic Party really has gone that insane. Their new position is that it's immoral to restrict any kind of immigration from any country, in any amount, for any reason ever. Even enforcing our own existing laws, the ones that they voted for and passed in Congress, is now tantamount to a hate crime. Nancy Pelosi has been making that case for months. Now, the public doesn't agree with any of this, so by definition, Democrats are extremists on the subject. They don't care. This is their new electoral strategy. These are their new voters, whatever it takes. Josa Arce is an immigrant and a former dreamer, and she joins us tonight, I believe, from Los Angeles. Josa, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks for having me on again, Tucker.
So, look, there may be things about this plan you don't like. There are definitely things that I don't like about it. But it's hard to see how a plan that gives legalization, amnesty, and a path to citizenship for more than 2 million people here illegally, none of them white, is white supremacy. How does that work?
Well, I think we have to take a step back and look at this from the beginning. The reason why we're in this chaos situation of young people's lives being on the line is because the president rescinded DACA, the program that gave undocumented young people the ability to work and go to school and drive and pay taxes. He ended that program, and that is why we're in this situation. And let's be very clear. Since you want to do that and spew propaganda,
no, stop. No.
No,
I'm going to ask you a question.
Monologue, and so now it's my turn to speak.
I don't believe it is. Right? I want to ask you a question about the discussion today, not about the roots of DACA, which I'm happy to debate with you in some other forum. I want to ask about the response today to this proposal released last night, which is that it's white supremacy. And I would like you to tell me if you believe it is, and if so, how.
You would let me.
If you could give me a crisp answer and not filibuster, I'd appreciate it.
Listen. It was Donald Trump who ended the DACA program, and he did so because he wanted to hold hostage and use as bargaining chips the lives of 800,000 undocumented people who have been here their entire lives, who are American in every single way. And now what we're trying to do is to create a second-class citizen. Okay, that's what this program does. It says
so are you not going to answer my question? This is giving people who are here illegally are getting amnesty and a path to citizenship, which is what you've been asking for, and you're calling that white supremacy. None of those people are white, so how is it white supremacy?
But at what price? I'm not calling it white supremacy. I don't think those words have come out of my mouth.
They've come out of the mouth of
I'm not calling it white supremacy
ranking Democrat.
What I am saying is that this plan, what it does is it creates a second-class citizen, because it says that the dreamers can become citizens themselves, but they cannot sponsor their parents. They cannot sponsor their siblings. And those rights are different than the rights that you have. And you just said earlier that this plan, the 2 million people, that none of them are white, which is untrue, because there are undocumented white people. There are 50,000 undocumented Irish people living in New York City.
Sure.
So there are.
You're absolutely right. They're not covered by this. So that's my only point. You're absolutely right. There are definitely undocumented white immigrants.
There are dreamers who are white, Tucker.
Oh, I'm sure there are, but it's an
indefinite.
I absolutely believe you. It's just it's an look. I don't care actually about the race of the dreamers.
You don't have to believe me. It's a fact.
I do believe you. My only point is that what you're seeing today is not an expression of white supremacy, so I wish you and your friends would stop making that point, because it's a lie and it's divisive. That's my only point. And because it's not true, and it makes people hate each other. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It is a plan that would potentially make 2 million people, who are mostly people of color, have less rights than white citizens. So that is racist.
Okay, so it's racist too. So you come in the country illegally, as you did. You have a moral right to let your relatives come too?
Well, first of all, I did not come into the country illegally. Let's get the facts straight. I came to the U.S. on a plane, on a tourist visa. So I did not come into this country illegally.
I thought that you overstayed. I'm sorry, I totally misunderstood your bio.
I did overstay my visa, but I did not come into the country illegally.
Oh, you were here illegally. Okay. So I guess that's what I just said. But my point is,
point that you're missing
if you are here illegally,
a 2-year-old cannot break the law. It was their parents who brought them to this country.
The parents who brought them to this country.
Of their own.
Right. So you're saying that the parents who brought them to this country now have a moral right to become citizens also. And I'm wondering where that right comes from.
Listen, if
I
am now a U.S. citizen, and if I want my mother to be able to come visit me and to be able to come be with me as a United States citizen, I should have that right. You have that right, right? If you had a mother who lived in a different country, you would be able to sponsor her.
So you sneak into the country, you bring your child, that child gets citizenship, and now you have a right to citizenship because you're the one who caused this problem, that parent, in the first place by bringing your child here illegally, but I have to, as a citizen, give you citizenship? How does that work exactly? No, but why should I be for that?
Going back to the point I was making at the beginning of the segment, which is that the reason we are in this situation is because the president ended DACA, and then he tasked Congress with coming up with a solution
you want to have that debate, but let's talk about.
But now you're
not answering my question.
That Dreamer lives should pay for a $25 billion wall.
So you're saying if I sneak into someone else's country and bring my child, and the people of that country are kind enough to give that child citizenship, that I somehow deserve it too? Because why? Why? That's a simple question. Why don't you give me a simple answer?
I'm going to tell you why. The reason why is because if these people become United States citizens, as they would under this plan, they should have the rights of as every other American citizen has. Why should this person, if we're making them citizens, why should they have less rights?
Because you came illegally, that's why, and we don't want to reward that behavior.
Then they should have the same rights as every other United States citizen.
Let me ask you really quick. So the ACLU described this as the supposed generosity of giving citizenships to people who are here illegally. Do you think it's generous of the United States to give citizenship to people who came here illegally? Do you think it's generous?
I think that we are trying to talk about two different things. Right?
No, we're trying to talk about. I'm asking you a simple question. Do you think it's generous to give people who are here illegally citizenship?
I don't think that it's generous to separate families and create second-class citizens. No, I don't.
I don't know why we would bring in people who are not grateful for the privilege of being an American citizen. You're definitely in that category too.
But by the way,
thank you. Okay, we're out of time. A nation, as you know, and as a result of that, has a right to impose its immigration views in the country. How did that work?
First, I want to say, boy, Donald Trump is right. These dreamers are fabulous. They're great. They're fantastic. I can't wait for them to be our fellow citizens.